Ever wonder why you've always been the responsible one? The calm one? The one people leaned on? You remember being young, but not carefree. You remember understanding things you shouldn't have had to understand yet. You remember adults saying, "You're so mature for your age," and part of you felt proud. Here's the paradox. The thing that protected you when you were young is the same thing quietly exhausting you now. You learned to grow up early to stay safe, but no one told you what it would cost you later. Psychology has a name for this pattern, but the experience itself is lived, not theoretical. Many people labeled mature for their age were shaped by parentification. This happens when a child is placed, subtly or overtly, into emotional or practical roles meant for adults. You learn to be composed. You learn to self-soothe. You learn to manage emotions that weren't yours. This creates hypervigilance. Your nervous system became finely tuned to emotional shifts, responsibilities, and expectations, not because you were gifted, but because you had to be alert. Over time, this often leads to emotional neglect schemas. Your inner world wasn't mirrored or prioritized. Your needs didn't disappear. They were simply postponed. Your attachment system adapted as well. Many develop avoidant or anxious avoidant attachment, where closeness feels risky and independence feels safer. Even your default mode network, the part of the brain that processes identity and meaning, learned a rule early on. Stability comes from self-reliance, not support. You didn't choose this identity. It formed around you, quietly, efficiently, and too soon. Carl Jung once wrote that childhood wounds don't vanish. They shape the architecture of the psyche. The invisible grief of being mature too early is this. You were praised for what you sacrificed. You were rewarded for what you suppressed. You were valued for how little you needed. You traded authenticity for acceptance, curiosity for competence, softness for control. The core fear underneath it all is simple. If I fall apart, no one will catch me. So rest feels unsafe, play feels unproductive. Needing help feels shameful. Even simple moments become complicated. You hesitate before asking. You downplay your struggles. You feel guilty for wanting ease. This is grief without a ceremony, loss without language, a childhood that ended quietly, without anyone noticing. As adults, this pattern doesn't fade. It refines itself. You might feel responsible for others' emotions in relationships, struggle to receive care without discomfort, overfunction at work. While feeling emotionally empty, tie self-worth to reliability and competence, have weak boundaries disguised as strength. Regulate emotions tightly, but feel disconnected inside. They become adults who are admired, trusted, depended on, but rarely held. These behaviors are not personality traits. They are coping mechanisms. And unlearning doesn't mean rejecting who you became. It means understanding why you became that way. This begins with witnessing, not judging your resilience, not shaming your strength, but noticing when maturity turns into self-abandonment. You don't need to undo your competence. You need to allow your unmet parts to exist alongside it. Healing begins when you stop confusing independence with wholeness. This is where inner child reparenting matters. Learning to offer yourself patience instead of pressure. This is where shadow work becomes necessary. Reclaiming dependency, grief, and softness without labeling them as weakness. This is where nervous system regulation teaches your body that support no longer equals danger. And slowly you choose softness over survival mode, curiosity over control, presence over performance. Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. You were never too mature, you were too early." The goal is not to be fixed, it is to become whole. If this felt uncomfortably familiar, comment yes if you see yourself here. And if this gave language to something you've always felt but never named, consider sharing and subscribing.